Foster's, good call. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. But as some transfer news, load crammed into one because there's not really an awful lot floating about. But Kushini Yenge has signed for Aberdeen. His brother, Tete, plays for Livy, so they could be playing against each other in the Scottish Premiership next season. Well, I say could if they both start then, or if they, you know what I mean, man. They both start. One starts, one comes off the bench. That's plenty. But anyway, this looks like a decent enough signing. Well, on the face of it, it does. 26-year-old Australian international, 11 caps, 6 goals. 11 caps, 6 goals. That's a that's a fantastic return if you actually think of it. But the reality is, he only played 14 games in the championship last season and didn't get a single goal or assist in 534 games. Now, saying that, folks, the return for Australia is pretty good. 6 goals in 11 games. Now, I don't really know what he's done prior to that. He has spent 2 seasons at Portsmouth. And he said something rather interesting. He said, and I quote, "Every kid dreams of playing for big clubs like Aberdeen." End of quote. Well, he's got his dream. His dreams came true. He's going to the Scottish Cup winners. They've got guaranteed league stage football in Europe next season, whether it be Europa League or Conference League. And Aberdeen, what will they do? Can Jimmy Thielen rally the troops for a title challenge next season? Probably not. But you know what? It's very easy for me to go for the low hanging fruit here and bury Aberdeen, but I'm not going to bury Aberdeen, man. Aberdeen are a big club. You know what I mean? They've won the most European trophies in Scotland. The Aberdeen have won more European trophies than a lot of big teams across Europe. Like, that's not even an exaggeration, man. It ain't. It fucking ain't, man. Last team to beat Real Madrid in a European final. So I'm not, like, as much as I dislike Aberdeen, I'm not going to sit here and lie and make fun of the fact that this guy's called them a big club, because seeing you break it down, you think they are a big club. Now, are they a club that's been sleeping for like the past 40 years? I mean, yeah, I'll accept that, but you know what? They're fucking much bigger than Portsmouth. Even if Portsmouth had that, 2006 7 Barclays period where you scroll through TikTok, man, and you get the old tunes blasting. It's like a montage of Harry Redknapp and Peter Crouch and guys like that. Anyway, I digress. I think this is actually a pretty decent signing. He also pointed out the fact that the Europa Conference League and the Europa League is a big attraction, and Jimmy Thielen said that Yenge would play a vital role. Now, apparently, he's had an injury hit season in the Championship, but in total, he's scored 13 goals in 45 appearances. Now, if you take away his 14 goals, his 14 appearances, sorry, this season, it's 13 and 31, which is all right. Not too much to complain about, but we'll move on. We will move on from him. As Igor Tudor, who became permanent Juventus head coach after being interim boss, has targeted 2 wing-backs for his 3-5-2 formation. Dan Nundoy for Bologna and Josh Doig from Sassuolo, who apparently value the 23-year-old Scot at 12.6 million. So Josh Doig, good news for him. In a sense, is bad news for Tierney, because Tierney's obviously picked up an injury for tonight's game against Liechtenstein. Are we going to stick with 5 at the back? Who knows? But I would say there's a really good opportunity that Josh Doig at least gets some more minutes for Scotland coming up later on the night. Now, he helped Sassuolo win the Serie B title and promotion. Is 12.6 million right for Josh? I rate Josh Doig. I know his team got relegated, but he's 23-year-old, and it's unfortunate for him that he's in the one position that Scotland stacked, man. Whether it's a centre mid or left back, it's the one thing you don't want to be if you're Scottish right now, because there's so many good players in that area. But 12.6 million is the price, as my voice sounds like it's beginning to go. But Pack have handed Greg Taylor a deadline at the end of June to decide whether to accept their contract offer as the 27-year-old Scotland left-back contract expires with Celtic. So what is he going to do? Is he going to accept it, the pack and move on and leave Celtic. I mean, we've already made a separate vid on it, so that's just kind of just an update. It appears that way. It definitely appears that way for we'll say Josh Doig, for Greg Taylor. We'll have to wait and see. But again, Greg Taylor, another guy that him and Josh Doig. Well, I mean, Greg Taylor didn't get called up, didn't he? Not so. Josh Doig definitely. Well, according to Steve Clark, but Steve Clark doesn't really know an awful lot, so take it as you will. But yeah, Josh Doig definitely more exciting than Greg Taylor at this stage of the game. Meanwhile, new Rangers head coach Russell Martin wants reunited with midfielder Flynn Downs, who he signed for Swansea City and the 26-year-old's current club, Southampton, but he could be thwarted by the 10 million price tag, while Harry Toffolo is interested in a switch to Ibrox with the left back poised to quit Nottingham Forest. Again, I mean, this is according to the Scottish Sun on Sunday, but see, see us signing, right, a fucking midfielder from Southampton for 10 million. That's just written to be a disaster. It is. It fucking is. I don't care what anybody says, man. Like, honestly, if we are to spend 10 million on anybody, it needs to be somebody who is young, exciting, promising, and already plays in a top league with a decent club. Southampton ain't it, folks. They're a fucking yo-yo team, and they're a bit pish. If we're taking anybody for Southampton, give me Joe Aribo. Seen Kyle Walker-Peters linked with a move. See what happens there. And then there's a wee bit of an update on Connor Cody, as Rangers have entered talks with him. So, aye, we'll see how that goes. But anyway, folks, that is it for this video. A lot of transfer news kind of wrapped into one. Be more content throughout the day. But until next time, hell yeah. Peace.